Judge Jeanine Pirro joins me now, co-host of The Five. Judge, you watched that judge on the stand today put these two people away for 10 to 15 years. Did you agree with her decision?
I absolutely agree with her decision. In fact, when I was the DA, I convicted a parent of allowing a child access to a gun. That gun was used to kill another child. So in terms of this is a mass shooting, this is the first of its kind. But there are prosecutors like me around the country who have done similar kinds of cases. The issue is whether or not, as a society, we are willing to recognize that we have to go beyond just the liability and responsibility of the person who does the shooting to whether or not there is vicarious liability or a special relationship of the person who is providing the gun. In some cases, it can be aiding and abetting, where you are not the person who actually does the shooting, but you are an individual who has a special relationship, in fact, an obligation as a parent or a guardian to make sure that your child is protected. And in fact, if a parent doesn't care for a child, the parent can be prosecuted. So why is it taking us so long as a society to recognize that when you've got a deteriorating mental illness, a child who is asking both his mother and father to see a doctor, he says he's seeing blood everywhere. He talks about getting a gun. His father gets the gun. There's a picture of him with the gun. He goes to school with the gun. The school calls the parents, and the parents take no responsibility. That same day, the kid takes the gun and, goes and kills 4 innocent people. People want to rely on this kind of sophisticated, well, he didn't pull the trigger. Well, he only got that gun because of his parents. And his parents were they had knowledge. They had reason to foresee that this would happen. But more than that, in any situation, you could foresee it. This child was sending messages of blood everywhere. He was talking about the fact that he was seeing his clothes flying all over in the house. He had just lost his grandmother. He was a mess. The school knew he was a mess. The school called the parents. The parents have a responsibility here. And for those people who are concerned about a slippery slope, Martha, it's time for parents to recognize you have an obligation to the rest of society to protect them from someone can be a danger to them.
Let me ask you, what about the school? The school could have kicked him out that day. Let's put up the drawing that he had drawn that we have for people to take a look at. He said, "The thoughts won't stop. Help me." It's a picture of a gun, blood everywhere. Now, we've all heard of cases where, schools go overboard with, your child went like this or something. And this is very different. What about the no liability for the school? Why didn't they just say, sorry, you have to take him home? I don't care if you have work. You've got to take him out.
Now you're, Martha, talking about a civil liability, a civil case. It's up to the parents. I believe they have a case. They knew the child was a danger. They knew the child had threatened suicide. That's why they called their parents. And when the parents did not take the child out of school that day, the school then becomes in loco parentis, which is what all the Democrats want. We're the parents when we have your kids. Well, there's an example of where that liability should lie. Does the school have
the right? The gun was in his backpack, and they went into his classroom when they wanted him to leave with his parents and brought the backpack out. Based on what they're seeing on this math drawing, does the school have the right to open the backpack and inspect it?
Absolutely. They had reasonable cause to believe that there was something dangerous based on his history, based on what he was saying, and based upon the fact that they were all concerned. Yes.
You know what? It's a great point that you make, because we hear so much about schools wanting to be in charge of these kids, right? But then you got to take the whole responsibility. And clearly they could have said, you're expelled. He's out. He's out.
They didn't.
Take him home.
They take a 5-year-old and throw him out of kindergarten.
Exactly. Such a tragedy. Unbelievable.
Thank you, Martha.
Judge, how great to have you with us. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you later on The Five.
You got it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.